Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for the month of January 2022 for all life path numbers. It feels a bit surreal that we're already stepping into 2022, so Happy New Year! Before we get into the reading, I do want to mention that this, of course, is a general reading. If you're interested in a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. So, 2022 is a 6 universal cycle, and it's much different energy than the fast-paced, sort of frenetic, transformative, expansive, big energy of the 5 cycle of 2021. So I highly recommend, if you haven't already, listening to your 2022 forecast for your personal life path number to gain a better understanding of this 6 universal year-long cycle that we're all stepping into, because it's going to be a powerful year. For January specifically, we are stepping into a 7 universal cycle for the month. So collectively, we will all feel this energy in some way. So for those that are new to my channel, please understand that first and foremost, I'll go over the energy for the collective, and this includes you. And then I dive more specifically into the individual life path energy for the month. So it all works in tandem. So I highly suggest just getting cozy and listening to the entire video. So the 7 energy throughout January can sort of have us focusing more on our holistic health, body, mind, and spirit. What are we feeding our own life force? This isn't only referring to, of course, nutrients for the physical body, but what are we ingesting into our mind and our spirit as well? Who and what are we surrounding ourselves with? If the energy we are inviting in, body, mind, spirit, is more toxic than healthy, chaotic rather than soothing, aggressive over calm, and overall negative over positive, then that is the fuel that the entire vehicle and our presence, body, mind, spirit, is running on. So think about how that will affect how you feel, how you treat others, how you treat yourself, and your overall outlook on life. Under this 7 energy, we may find that the universe presents us with some kind of roadblock to sort of force us to put the brakes on, to take a closer look at where it is we can make some adjustments to how we treat ourselves, all of ourselves, right? Like, again, holistically, body, mind, spirit. Perhaps we need to distance ourselves from certain relationships, to take a break from the news, social media, to spend more quality time in solitude and with the people whose cups are always full and don't expect us to deplete our own in order to fill theirs up. So perhaps there is a call to get reconnected this month to our own spiritual side and spend more time connecting with Mother Earth and allow her healing energies to rejuvenate our spirit. This month is the perfect time to do a major check-in and do any maintenance work that we have been neglecting on ourselves so that we don't get to the point of needing full-on repair. Listen to your body this month and don't subscribe to any level of guilt or shame when it comes to your self-care and taking the time for that self-care, whatever that looks like for you. The world will be there when you reemerge, right? This 7 cycle encourages us to retreat, to reflect, to heal, and to focus on our own holistic health. Under this influence, this is not a time to be impulsive, to take big risks, if you can avoid it. Now, of course, life happens, right? Sometimes we have to make those big decisions, take those big risks, regardless of what the astrology, the numerology, or the energy sort of dictates. And so, of course, follow your heart, follow your circumstances, use your logic, whatever. Do what you need to do. But if you can avoid it, this is going to be a time, again, just think of like sinking into the stillness, doing things a little bit more organically, taking your time, taking time for solitude, thinking things through. 7 energy is very, very, very connected to the metaphysical, but also a very practical energy. It's also very connected to the earth. And so there is practicality around this where there's not a whole lot of impulsivity at times. It's more reflective. It kind of takes its time. It wants to make sure that even though it's the bridge between the metaphysical and the physical, what it's bringing into the physical, that energy wants to make certain that it's something that is worth bringing into the physical. So again, just take your time under this energy. You don't have to be impulsive. Just make sure that what you're manifesting, what you're bringing in is what you want to bring in. This is an energy where little effort is going to be required for things to come to completion now. You've already done the hard work, the heavy lifting, the input, all of those things. And so now it's going to be a time for, again, sort of sinking into receptivity mode and being open to receiving the rewards, the gifts, the fruition of, the completion, the tangibles of what it is you've been working so hard towards, which is really kind of beautiful because it's like if you've really, if 2021 was a tumultuous year and you had to put a lot of effort into a lot of things and whatnot, this month is really saying, let's capture those rewards. Let's let the rewards come to us. Think of like the spider who's built its web and now it's allowing its nutrients to come to it. It's not seeking it out. That's really kind of like the 7 energy for this month. I believe in astrology, there's several planets that are retrograde. And so this is a time for, again, reflections, receptivity, allowing the nutrients to come to you holistically, body, mind, spirit. And you get to decide whether you're going to eat that nutrients or not, right? Body, mind, spirit. So again, this is going to be a time for and a period for sort of watching and waiting and let this cycle work for you. This is a lovely time for vacations, for staycations, for writing that book that you've always wanted to write, for taking a class that sort of expands the mind, especially if it's anything to do with like theology, religion, metaphysics, mystical teachings, yoga, astrology, numerology, and so on. So things that are sort of not necessarily taboo, but sort of outside the mind that would allow you to expand the mind in a way. This is a great energy for really diving into those sort of classes and taking some kind of maybe lecture or workshop or something like that where you're not expending a lot of energy per se, but you're expanding the mind and expanding the spirit, right? With that little physical effort. So listen to your own internal promptings at this time and pay extra attention to your dreams, your visions, your intuition now. Again, this is very feminine, divine feminine energy, receptivity, stillness, reflection, sinking into, again, the stillness. Where is your soul gently leading you now? This isn't about forcing. This isn't about aggression. This isn't about, again, sort of that more aggressive action of the masculine energy. This is very receptive, very still, very organic and soft energy. So again, where is your soul gently leading you now? The messages can come in as a whisper, but they can also feel like a lightning bolt when you receive it and when you hear it. So overall, with this 7 illumination, do not fight the urge for rest, rejuvenation, and inner reflection. Much can be learned and discovered during this quieter, softer cycle if we listen. You can get answers to some really big questions during this cycle, but you have to be open, you have to be receptive. So be receptive to what the universe is trying to show you now through the stillness. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the individual life path number. Life path number 1. So I pulled an animal spirit card for you all for January, and you got dog spirit. And this is interesting energy. This totally makes sense for ones for this 7 energy that we're feeling this month. So dog's message is your loyalty and faithfulness is misplaced by serving too many masters. And so really what this is signifying and what this energy is bringing in is asking you to focus your energy, to pick 1 or 2 things that you can focus your energy on now and not scatter your energy, right? Like if you have like all of these people you're answering to, all of these projects, you have all these pots on the stove sort of boiling over type thing that are, calling for your attention, too many people needing a piece of you type thing. This is going to be a time for you to set some healthy boundaries. This is going to be a time for you to, again, working with this 7 energy that we're all feeling, to fall into more like receptive mode and the stillness and sort of solitude. So again, sort of like figuring out what it is that needs your attention, what it is that you want to put your attention to, and focusing on that. Because if you're focusing on 10 million different things, then your energy is scattered to 10 million different things. And it's really hard to bring anything to completion there. So I just get this feeling that 10 million people want a piece of you, but you have to decide who gets a piece of you. You see what I'm saying? So this is going to come to your own discernment, and people will get upset and people will have their feathers ruffled, but that's not your problem. That's not what, you don't need to take on that baggage. They need to work through that and respect your boundaries. So the dog energy can be very loyal energy and want to help everybody and do things for everybody and make everything right for everybody and all of that. But that's a lofty expectation and an unrealistic one. And so this is going to be a month, I think, for you all to take a closer look at where do you want to put your energy? What does that look like for you? And what conversations need to be had to sort of nip some things in the bud so that they don't get progressively worse to where they require more and more and more of your time and they detract you from what you actually need to be working on or focused on, right? It can be relationships as well. So looking at the month ahead for you all, beginning of the month, we have this energy of some big new ideas coming in for you, which is not surprising for once. You're not necessarily meant to take action on these ideas this month. This is, like I said, this is more of a stillness sort of energy that we're working with, kind of like allowing the things to come to you. But I think some of those things that are going to be coming to you are some solutions, some ideas, some big innovative ideas, sort of getting caught in your web, which is beautiful. And so again, for you all, especially pay attention to your dreams, to any visions that you have, any messages that come through other people, through the animals, whatever. There are some big energies coming in for you that will hold potentially the key to some things you've been working on or some issues you've been having. This can also, of course, do with health as well, but it does feel, again, sort of like that. It's almost like there's something that you've been working on, but you just couldn't see clearly some aspect of it. And so it didn't holistically make sense. I feel like you're going to have the answer come in this month, and particularly the energy is potent at the beginning of the month. So really pay attention to, again, whatever comes in for you. And I would say if something comes in and it like hits a nerve or it like creates some kind of emotion for you, it doesn't have to be bad, doesn't have to be good, just like something that gets into your awareness, I would write it down because you may not know what to do with it just yet, but there's some big energy coming in for you, especially around the beginning of the month. So pay attention to that and write it down and then revisit it as needed because it will eventually make sense. Mid-month, we have this can come in a few different ways. This is either some really transformative energy coming in for you all. Actually, I do feel like that for the majority of you, that's what this is some really big transformative energy coming in that is assisting you in your next steps forward. Now, again, because we're working with 7 cyclical energy, I don't think you're meant to take those big risks, those big steps this month, but I think that there's going to be some major transformations coming in for you where you may have to leave something behind that you thought was the direction you wanted to move in, but you're getting a clear indication of a detour. And that detour is actually much more expansive, much more aligned with the direction you want to be moving towards. So whatever this death or transformation is, the rebirth is right behind it. And so again, it's kind of like, it doesn't have to be like this big dramatic ending. It just feels like something is like, there's a redirect here for you. And it's something potentially that you were working on in the past that's now revisited now. Or again, because it's that 7 energy that we're all working with, this could be something that you had worked on in the past, but again, the timing was off. And so it didn't really you didn't really see anything come of it, or it didn't turn out the way that you thought it was going to turn out, and now you're being revisited by whatever this is. And so because of that, you're being asked to set something down, to redirect and sort of tie a bow and complete that other thing so that you can start this big, expansive, whatever it is. And this could also be like, again, taking classes or something like that that's expanding your mind, that's allowing you to build upon the bigger picture. But definitely seeing this new big start, this new inspiring, this motivation, whatever this is coming in for you, definitely seeing some kind of ending or completion coming in right before the new beginning happens. You see what I'm saying? So these sort of go in tandem, but it's not like sometimes something ends or something is cleared out and then we have to kind of wait for that space to be filled in. I feel like for you, it's like some kind of big inspiration or idea comes in at the beginning of the month, and then mid-month something has to fall away to sort of create space for you to start sort of bring in this new idea, this new whatever it is. And so that's all kind of happening in tandem. And again, it doesn't have to be like a creative endeavor. This can be about relationships as well, or, whatever. This is a general reading. So, but I would say there is some kind of completion here. There is some kind of ending here. But it can also be something coming to fruition. But in that, whatever that is, that coming to fruition, it's creating this space of sort of, I don't want to use the word emptiness. That sounds kind of dire, but it's like, there's just space created now because where you've been sort of putting all of your energy has now created, that's come to an end, and now it's created sort of this vacuum, and now you're going to start immediately sort of filling that with these new ideas, right? And what's interesting is I also feel dog's energy coming in here. These endings could be you sort of claiming that you are only going to focus your energy on those things that are important to you or that directly affect your experience, right? Or what it is that you want to create. And so this ending could be you releasing yourself from those obligations that really don't need to be there, sort of clearing your own plate in a way, which would make a lot of sense. And but in doing that, you are creating an energetic experience where you're able to create something much bigger, more expansive, that really is more in line with your energy. So this is a good thing. But again, I don't necessarily see you taking big steps, big action on whatever these ideas are. I just see like you getting the puzzle pieces now, things coming in really, really clearly, so that you can decide and plan how you want to take those next steps. The end of the month for you all, I'm definitely seeing as more that divine feminine energy, that stillness, that receptivity, that contemplation, really taking some time for solitude if you can. This is going to be a time for you to get back in touch with yourself, body, mind, spirit. So this is going to be the time for ones where you're going to want to really take a closer look at where you need some maintenance, where it is that you feel out of balance, body, mind, spirit. Where do you need to get reconnected? Where in the physical do you feel out of alignment? This is going to be your time towards the end of the month to really take a closer look at that. It's like the beginning and mid-month were opportunities for you to get these big ideas, these big inspirations, this motivation coming through. And so you can kind of put, you've got that now, you can kind of put that on the back burner. And the end of the month, this is a great time again for vacation, staycation, trips alone, where you can again just lean into the solitude and really get reconnected with yourself, what you need moving forward, what you want to focus on for yourself moving forward. This is a great opportunity to do some journaling, to do a walking meditation, to do a meditation, whatever the case may be. But this is going to be a time where I think, you're going to really want to slow things down a little bit. And that can be challenging for one. So you just really have to listen to your body here. Sometimes when we fail to slow things down and listen to our body, the universe will step in and slow us down, right? Through sickness or something like that, where we're sort of forced to be stuck in bed, contemplating life or whatever. So I think you're going to have an opportunity to kind of do that at the end of the month. And so take the invitation, so that, you're not forced into stillness, if that makes sense. So, because this is all going to help you, like that solitude is going to help you really get clear on your thoughts, on the next steps, what you want to pursue, how you want to move forward, who you want to move forward with, all of those things, and get really focused, so you're not feeling as scattered. So, powerful month coming ahead for you all, as always. But I think the hardest thing for you all is going to be the stillness, the just, again, checking in with yourself and really making that time for that self-care, and just pressing pause on the external noise for a bit to check in, to do the maintenance before you have to do the repair. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.